Otaku, Octagon, what's
What's
going on, y'all?
up?
Welcome back to another beautiful episode. Today we are going to hop into our news. We got a little bit more news than last week, thank God, because
Thank
holy
God.
cow, we couldn't find anything last week, and that ain't on us. We be looking. And David thinks I'm lazy sometimes when I look at news, but he even looked. It was like, holy shit,
I
there's
didn't say
nothing.
it.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
didn't say
we
it.
all know. We all know. We all know. We all know. All right. But we have a little bit some good news today. Not like a whole lot, but we have some good news today. And then I got a little recommendation for you. Something that, you know, you don't call me not girly, but it's something cool but girly. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? Like,
word,
look,
word.
hey,
Maybe I got
I
something for
gotta.
you too then.
All right, cool. So first one, hopping in the news. Well, actually, like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the notification bell down below so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And not to mention, I want to say thank you. I've never gotten a thank you before, so I'm gonna thank you for thanking me for doing, explaining the Gundam Requiem, kind of like what's going on there. Because he
Definitely.
said, which I'm assuming is kind of like a lot of people, which is why I explained it, that the new Gundam show that came out talking about the Xeon forces, not a lot of people understood what was going on.
I
They
was
didn't,
confused as hell.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So
yeah.
like they saw the Gundams the first usually anybody who's ever known anything about Gundam has always thought that like the Gundam the XG1, I might be saying that wrong, I completely forgot, sorry Gundam fandom, the XG1, the Gundam that our boy rocked, is like the main
The
character,
white
the
one
hero.
with the.
Yeah, the white one with
Yeah.
the blue and red. Like, we always thought that was the good guy from day one of Gundam, and then we see it as a bad guy in one of the
Yeah, it was the
first Netflix
perspective. I
adaptations.
was like, it kind of threw me off
So
at first.
if y'all ever want me to do like a little Gundam kind of timeline kind of thing, not too long, but like enough to kind of put things together, I'll do that. But thank you for thanking me, because you didn't understand on our short that David dropped,
You're welcome.
because you didn't understand what was going on. So I appreciate y'all. So I can do that if I can. But again, like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring notification bells, and let's hop into our news. So I didn't know you could do this, but apparently you can for this. Elden Ring, Night Rain, the new game that's coming out for Elden Ring, they now have open registration for a closed network test. So you can register to be a network tester, but on a closed network, obviously, not like a beta or anything, to test out the new game. So if you look for registration, you go on their website and you can register to be a network
Did you
tester or
register?
to be a game tester. Hell no, I ain't got time for that. I own my own business.
Ah, it's Elden Rain, and they
I
said
work
it
Monday
was
through
it was
Saturday.
multiplayer. I was like, we getting that
Let me
right.
assume. Let me just go ahead and assume what I think the qualifications you need to be a closed network tester. One, they're probably going to check if you beat the fucking first game entirely. They're going to check your level. They're going to check. They're going to check like hours played. They're going to check. There's probably certain criteria, because they're not just going to let a casual player or like a noob go and test their brand new game. Because if you don't know shit about it and you're not familiar with the mechanics or whatever it is, like, they're not going to be like, oh, so what do you think about the roll mechanic? Is it slow? Is it fast? They're going to be like, I was just roll.
But
How do you roll?
they gotta test
Square?
to make sure that it's fun for all ranges of know how to play the game.
True.
So
I
the
mean, they might
beginners,
one
the
through five.
novices. So that's us right there in the middle,
Yeah, well, I'm just saying they
lower
might do
middle.
a 1 through 5 thing. If they have like five testers, they might do a noob, somebody who's played for a little bit, a mid tier guy, a guy that plays every other day, and then like a professional Skyrim game. So they might have like every level just to see who likes what. But if you're asking on closed network, I mean, I don't know.
Let's check it out.
I don't know. Something I am kind of excited about, which Lord knows when I find out something interesting, I usually spend a lot of money on it. It's talking about Pokemon. But so Bandai is announcing, well, they already announced they're going to be doing a new Gundam tabletop miniature game. So, you know those miniatures you can go get of like Warhammer, and you can like paint the minis and like do little miniature games, and like you have like, think of D&D but with actual like castles and shit like on your playmat,
Yeah.
and you just put your minifigures. Yeah, Gundam's doing a miniature figure game,
Ooh.
so you're gonna start seeing in stores the boxes with all those gray minis that you could just paint your Gundams and paint them however you want, and like go play the miniature game. So that Bandai is gonna be dropping that one
I got a few
pretty soon.
LGSs in the area. that have
Yeah.
those Dungeons and
Oh
Dragon
yeah.
figures and stuff. I'm like, oh, they look cool, but I think I'm
Yeah.
like too far back to actually get into something like that. I feel like you
Yeah.
gotta have a lot more knowledge.
I always wanted to get like, so people do like paint armies. So they'll like get an army and paint like an army of orcs or an army of like space marines, like their own types of space marines. I know the Warhammer miniature game, unless you go to like the season players and like go and actually play like hardcore players, most of the time when you play the miniature game, because I know some people that do play miniature game,
Mm.
you essentially, what's so great about it is you already have your 9 or 12, I can't believe 12, your 12 space marines, like groups that you can pick from if you wanted to. But a lot of the time you could just make up your own space marine legion and just paint them however you want, and people will let you play because most of them have the same kind of powers and weapons anyways. You just like paint them whatever color you want and call them fucking the BBC Brigade. I don't know. Like
Oh, okay.
you do whatever you want.
So Gundam. Okay, that's great. Oh, good to hear
I'm
it.
just I'm just saying. I'm gonna get me some
The
Gundam. I'm gonna give me a
BBC
Gundam
grenade. You've been thinking about this, sir.
brigade. Brigade. Yeah, they're gonna be black. It's gonna be black and white. They're all gonna be black and white. Yeah, just with the ace of spades on their
The
back.
creatures off what's it called? The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, the
Or-
Urukai.
The orcs.
Yeah, the Urukai with the hand.
with the
white
with the
hands.
white handprint.
That's what I
Oh,
should
yeah.
call them, the white hand. That's racist. That sounds like a
Yeah, don't do
paint them
that.
all white and you just call them the
do
white
that.
hand.
Don't do that.
You should call yours the black,
Sir.
the black, the black hand. All right, so I was kind of looking forward to this game because it was going to be coming out as a like a online game, and it looked pretty interesting, but unfortunately it was canceled. So Transformers Reactivate was a game that was coming out, which was a very interactive Transformers game where you're like shooting these different kinds of aliens, doing all kinds of craziness. But it has been canceled. From what I read, essentially they are just pulling back to focus on other projects. It's just not becoming fruitful to them anymore. And so they're pulling away from that game. Something I've heard about a while ago. I haven't talked about it before, but it was something I was gonna check out if it dropped because it looked pretty interesting. Some of the like I guess beta gameplay, not really beta because it didn't even make it to beta, but like testing gameplay looked pretty interesting. But it is what it is. So,
R.I.P.
do you know an anime? It's pretty old called Crayon Shinchan.
Sounds yes.
It's,
With
it's
his
like a
face is
really
all
yeah, it's really short guy.
Yeah.
His face is to the side. So a man in China spent $410,000 to build his dream anime house, and it was the exact house by spec of the house from Crayon Shinchan.
God.
It
Okay.
looks good. It looks good.
I bet $410,000.
$410,000.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
Like that's
I'll
expensive. Where he is.
probably 410. That's 410K USD. So it was
USD.
like 1 point something million in.
Hey man, live your dream. I like it. Live your dreams.
Just saying. So, all right, the Demon Slayer first movie is part 1 is going to be coming out September 12th.
I
September
I
12th.
heard some rumors.
Yep. Well, it said officially.
It's official. Okay.
It says
okay.
official September 12th.
September 12th. So next
It
year.
says it says nope,
for
2025.
for part 2.
Well, yeah, next year. Yeah, we're not finishing Demon Slayer until 2027. So,
27
Yeah.
part 2.
yeah, my oldest will graduate.
What is
middle
that? Like
school by the
another
time.
7 months away? Jesus Christ. They really gonna milk this, John, ain't they?
Yeah.
I figured they had already been like producing it, like in the background, and then it's gonna drop
it's-
like spring,
And it's
maybe.
funny because everywhere they announce it, they say Demon Slayer, the final movie, airs September 12th. You mean the final movie part 1
Part 1.
airs September? Stop saying the final movie. Say the final movie part 1.
It's
Just
the
do
final
that.
movie, and then they're gonna have a final season after the final
Then-
movie.
Right. Final.
one.
It's gonna be a final OVA.
Final season, part 1. Final season, part 2.
I'm over it. I'm over it. Just
Attack on Titan.
give us what we give
You've
us what we
burned
want.
us Attack on Titan. You've ruined us. Now we're always gonna have these feelings whenever anime
Mm-hmm.
announces.
Especially when they're like, we're gonna wrap up our entire show in movies. We're like, all right, so I'm gonna be 40 when it's done. Got it. Understood. That makes so much sense. Anyways, all right, last two. So solo leveling Ragnarok is on a 1 month break after the author just got recently in a car accident. So solo leveling is taking a little break manga wise. Because author got in a car accident. I mean, it's sad. Hope he recovers well. Or she.
Can't be too
Honestly, don't know.
serious if it's only 1 month.
Yeah, 1 month. I mean, he was probably laid up in a hospital. Like, just give me 30 days. Just give
Or
me-
they walked in the hospital room. You got 30 days. So
yeah. Oh, you see
wrap
this
it
contract?
up. Wrap it up.
You didn't see this. You didn't see this at the bottom. You see. You signed the
Ragnarok
same contract
Final
that.
Mango Part 2. You didn't
Yeah,
remember that?
yeah. You see, this is like that's not my contract. That's Mappa Studios. Oh shit! Yeah, here. This is your contract.
It's the same anyway. It doesn't really matter.
It's
Just switch names.
I just the title is just different. Yeah, don't worry about it. So Ghost of Tsushima, the video game that was really really popular, has the same mechanics as Elden Ring, is officially getting an anime adaptation. So
Nice.
yeah, that's gonna. I think that's gonna be goated.
Pretty
If they do
fire.
that shit well. I mean, they were talking about Elden Ring doing the same thing, but we haven't seen or heard it. We talked about that months ago. Elden Ring anime coming out. We talked about that a long time ago, and we haven't seen nothing about it. So
Nothing. I heard
Nothing,
nothing
yeah.
about that. And actually, with some adaptations that's been dropped in recently, I don't even
Yeah.
want to see it. Just talk about it. Like it might be cool, but
yeah.
just let it die out. It's fine. I'm totally okay with it.
One thing I did forget before we wrap up the news. Also, Fire Force is, or not Fire Force. Excuse me. Black Clover is getting pushed out another year.
The Black Clover anime. Oh,
It's supposed to be this year, and now
That's
it is
crazy.
no longer coming back this year.
that is surprising. Surprising. No, but speaking of video games though, what is that? Assassin's Creed, the like the ninja one.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah, like so they had a new one, and then it got delayed, and everybody was like, "Oh, it got delayed," but they actually did what most game fans want. Like, don't just push a
change.
product out.
Yeah.
Wait, push back the date, and then give us a finished product. They're finally going to be coming out, I think, springtime of this year. So definitely looking forward to that.
I mean, what we got GTA 6's trailer like 2 years ago. So,
GTA 6 is coming out this year too. This is
we'll
actually
see.
I watched the video. We'll see. It's like the last game coming out this year, so give them time.
December 31st at midnight.
December 31st, 11:59 and 59 seconds. I watched the video saying that 2025 is like the year of the video games. Like a lot of shit's coming
I heard
out
that
this
too.
year. Definitely.
I
a
heard
lot
they're
of
gonna be
shit coming out this
dropping
year.
a lot of stuff. So
I'm kind of looking forward to
see.
the new game for Elden Ring. I'm
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean-
looking forward. They say the mechanics is pretty solid.
So a lot of the complaints, and I can say this because they're not coming from a newbie complaint side. They're coming from the expert player side, right? So there's those hardcore Elden Ring, Skyrim, or not Skyrim, Elden Ring. What is it? Not Skyrim. Holy fuck. Dark Souls. Jesus. Dark Souls. Skyrim fans with the same mechanics, right? And coming from what I've been reading, coming from the expert side, people that play constantly, is they love those type of mechanics, but they just need to be smoother and without the delay. So the delay
That's
is
what
what
they're
makes
providing.
the game the delay is what makes the game harder,
Yeah.
right? Like those Dark Soul and Elden Ring games are just hard. We know that you have to time literally everything, but even some of the expert players are saying sometimes it's just a bit too much. Sometimes it's just too much, just a little bit over the max where like I'm maxed out. I'm like, yeah, I can probably go do not an Easter egg, but go do like a grind and then just be able to one-shot a boss. But I don't want to do that. But I don't want it to be impossible, and I don't want to have to go level up to one-shot them. I want to have a little bit of difficulty in it. And so I think what they tried to do, and they did that in Ghost of Tsushima, from what I've heard, is they made the rolling a little like a bit faster. They made the jumping a bit
They
faster.
said
They
things
made
are
the
smoother.
yeah, they made the back step a little bit faster. There's not like a press A and then you jump. It's a press A then you jump. Like it's the delay is a little bit smoother. So
With that battle
hopefully,
royale style, it's like
yeah,
you can't have those command controls. Like
yeah,
you can't press
yeah,
A to react when you're playing battle royale. So makes
yeah,
sense that
yeah.
they'll change it.
So I'm looking forward to that as well. Maybe it'll get me back into Elden Ring. I haven't touched it in a
Back
while,
in the
so
Elden sack.
we'll
Okay.
see. We'll see. All right, so I got a recommendation. This is for the fans, for the fans. Now, me, I got I like I watch a lot of live action stuff. You know that, right? This is something that you may like. Now, this I don't know. But I want to see. So, this movie came out in 2020, maybe. I think 2021.
Won't like it.
So, yeah,
Too
okay.
too old.
So, no, it's good. It's good. It's good. So this movie is called Night Teeth, right? So, I like white girls, right? Yeah, but these
We're
this
here.
this is a movie about vampires.
Oh,
And I like
Buffy's.
vampires. I like vampires. I like werewolves. I like the whole supernatural world that revolves around this. But this show is about vampires, and I love like just the way they go about the show. The show is good. And I don't know, you know who Debbie Ryan is, right? She was on Disney Channel. She was on, like she was like a teenage. I forgot what the show was called. Debbie Ryan.
I don't know the name of the show.
She was a Disney kid, but she was like, I think she was like 16 at the time. Well, this movie came out. She's an adult now. She's like late or mid 20s, something like that, or late 20s or something like that. Well, she bad in this movie. So this movie is about two vampire girls and about a kid who essentially, like, his brother is a driver for like I guess you call it like a like high exec driver. So not necessarily like Uber or what do you call it, the other one, Lyft, right? But he drives like a blacked out Suburban for like rich people. So like he's an Uber for rich people, not necessarily for any just regular Joe Schmo. And his brother can't work that night shift because something happened to his girl. Vampire took her, like a vampire dude took her, this and that. There's apparently this whole like world where they have a truce where the vampires can't cross over this certain section of LA, and the gangbangers and like human hunters can't cross over their section into the vampire section of LA. There's been a truce for like hundreds of years apparently. And his brother, this kid's brother, is like the leader of the gangbangers who know all about vampires, know all about it and shit, and like they keep the peace, or they try to, and if vampires cross over, they murk them, so on and so forth. Girl gets kidnapped. Brother has to go find his lady, and he can't work that shift. So the little brother, which is, I think he's in, is he in college? He's in college, I think. He's like maybe 18, 19. I can't really remember, but he's like 18, 19. He tells his brother like, "Yo, let me work for you tonight." Like, brother doesn't know anything about vampires, by the way. He's like, "Yo, let me work for you tonight. Let me work it." He's like, "No, fuck you. You can't drive. You don't have a chauffeur's license. Like, you don't know shit. I'm not about to let you drive." And the kid's like, come on, let me work. And then I guess his boss is like blowing his shit up. Like, you need to work tonight. You can't take off. You have a high value client. And he's like, fuck. He's like, all right, here's the keys. I'm gonna tell you the rules, this and that. He tells him the rules, gives him the keys. Like, bro, just don't fuck up my vehicle. Don't fuck up my ride. Like, just keep your head down, shut your mouth, open doors, this and that. Call it a night. I'll pay you half the bill. Do you think
Did
you heard of it?
Pause. Did you ever watch this around me?
No.
You only recently watched it.
I just watched it like a month ago. Not even. A couple weeks ago.
Interesting. Like I've heard of it. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I've
It
watched
might
it
have
maybe.
been it might have been when you were over, I might have like scrolled like over it while you were just chilling in the living room and like watched like the little preview about it.
Because that whole
Like cuz it
beginning I'm familiar with. Like
Yeah.
him convincing his brother. The brother finally it's like, okay, you go ahead and you do it.
That was in the preview. That was like that whole part of that was in the preview
Okay, you know
of the
Netflix. They
show.
basically give you the beginning of the show when you
Yeah, yeah,
scroll over the preview.
pretty much. Well, he ends up going to the crib, and Debbie Ryan walks out the house looking bad, and then he's like, "What's up?" And she's like, "You gonna open the door?" And he's like, "Uh, yeah." And he opens the door for her, and she's like, "All right, well, my other friend is the one that actually ordered it." Other white girl walks in. She's like, "All right, we got 7 stops. You gon' you gonna fucking take us to each one of these, and our last stop is gonna be we need to get there before dawn, like before the sun rises." And he's like, "All right, bet, whatever, cool." And so he essentially starts taking him to these places, weird people. He stays in the car. The girl in the back, the one of them's like a super bitch. I forgot what her name is, but she's like super mean to him, all this and that. The other girl is starting to like, kind of like, like Debbie Ryan's starting to kind of like him a little bit, like, whatever. And just skip all the weird shit because I'm not gonna go over the entire movie. He ends up going to this one place, and he sees like a bunch of he sees the duffel bag sitting on the floor in his back of the car, and he looks in it. It's like millions of dollars in there. He's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And he's just like, "Yo," but he sees blood on it. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And so he runs into the little hotel that they're in to like see if somebody could call the cops, like this and that. Well, he has this little like gem that one of them dropped, and not chauffeur, the concierge or whatever is like, "Oh, sir, I didn't know you were one of them. My apologies. Would you like me to take you to the penthouse or whatever?" He's like, "What?" And she scans it. She's like, "All right, right this way." He's like, "Huh?" Takes him all the way up, and he like looking through the door or whatever. He sees both of them girls just eating neck, just like slurping blood. It's
Yeah,
like
I think I've
just
seen
like
this one.
just like teeth out, bro. And he's like, "What the fuck? Like, what the fuck's going on?" And you come to find out that like them girls have been going each place where all the vampire bosses and human bosses have their headquarters because their boss is trying to run the whole vampire world at this point. He doesn't want, or in LA, not like the world. In the movie, it's kind of stupid because he's like, after we take LA, we got the whole world and this and that. I'm like, nigga, you in one city, but whatever. And he pretty much is like trying to run the world. So those are his girls, and his girls have been going to each one of them, killing each one of the bosses, so that at the end of the day, they run the world, they run the city, they run LA. And he finds out they're vampires. They just take him on this wild ride the rest of the night, like to all these spots, because he keeps trying to escape. So they're like, "Well, we're gonna take you inside now. You're gonna see all the shit we see." And at the same time, the brother is out there trying to kill the vampire boss dude who's been sending his girls out to kill people, because he's the one that took his girlfriend, like the older brother's girlfriend. And they also have like Megan Fox. So there was one part of the movie I didn't really like, didn't make a lot of sense to me. So Megan Fox and Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney from uh, Euphoria, like the white girl. She's been on SNL. She got like the really big titties and shit like that. Everybody's been fiending over her, and those two are his bosses. So they're like older vampires, older bosses than him. He goes to their house to kill them, and he succeeds and they're both there. And I've watched a lot of vampire and like werewolf shows and movies and books and shit, and I'm just like, nigga, how is it that for hundreds of years they've been your boss, but you're just able to kill them both while they're both there at the same time? That just didn't make sense to me. I was like,
He unlocked his inner hunter.
no, he doesn't like nothing. He just
Today
killed
was
him.
the day.
Like he killed the gate guard, went up there, started talking to him a little bit. They was looking bad, like little vampire baddies, and they were like, "You're fucking up the city right now. We know you are. We're not stupid. We're older than you. We're we turned you this and this and this and that." And then he just kills them, and I'm like, "Bro, how?" And like when they find out, they try to call for their security, and I'm like, "So have you just been in charge because of the boys that have your back?" Or have you been in charge because you're just oldest and strongest? Usually, you're older and stronger. It doesn't matter if you're a female or a male. You fuck up the younger ones. You
Did
fuck
he
up the
like
young pups.
overpower them?
And so that's the problem. Is it really didn't show like how he killed them. It just showed like him about to, and then it switched to the girls, and then it went back to him like cleaning blood like off his jacket on the phone with them and stuff like that. And like they're all laid out in the pool, all fucked up. And I'm just like, I don't know.
How you do that?
Because it's you versus two of them who've been
Were they like
vampires for.
ready to fight? Like, let's go. And
They're
he was like,
vampires. Like, no.
let's go.
I
Or
mean, they
was it
knew
he
the
snuck
minute
up
they
on them?
found out. No, they were talking. Like all three of them were talking around this like fire pit in the center of a pool. You know them little walk down fire pits in rich people's houses, and they were like, he knew what they were about. She knew they knew what he was about to do, and they're like, get up here now, like to their security. And he pulled the ear out of his coat pocket and was like, I don't think he can hear you. It was kind of funny. And then he like threw the ear, and then they were like, and then I'm like, I've never seen that in my life. Like you're the only show I've ever seen that, and that's only because like Blood Rage has been like something like Underworld, where Selena, like the vampire chick, but she's also more strong because we find out later she's like part vampire god, but like she kills elders, which but she kind of sneaks up on them and kind of like does them in. But like you're face to face, how the fuck did you kill two elders? That doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, I mean, you just they keep going down the road. Debbie Ryan ends up falling in love with old boy. At this point in the movie, I'm like, I'm shipping him. I'm shipping him. I want them to be together. I want her to turn him.
You and
I
your
want them to.
rom coms.
I want them to learn. I want them to live happily ever after. Maddie loves love. All right. I was like, I want them to live happily ever after. And my wife's watching it. She's like, you know, it ain't gonna turn out like that. It's a vampire movie. People getting fucked up. People dying. It ain't gonna turn out like that. Well, guess what? It fucking did turn out like that.
No.
They end up. The dude ends up using. It's kind of funny, but he ends up using. He goes to the house. His brother was captured. He goes to the house because the girl gets injured. That's the one that one of the girls, not Debbie Ryan, is actually the like girlfriend of the boss. And so he's like, well, we got to kill this nigga too. So we're bringing him over to this house. And so they bring him over to the boss's house. And the boss like they end up getting into a little fight. Nigga almost dies, this and this and this and that. He ends up using this. He puts a rock on the gas pedal and uses the self-start drive mode on the truck. And from the driveway as he's in the house and uses it to run into the house when the sun's out. And literally the brother comes out of the corner all tied up.
Kills him.
And just like kind of shoulder like tackles him into the sun, the older dude, and then but our boy main character gets his throat slit in the process, and he's dying, and so Debbie Ryan comes over, turns his ass, and then they ride off in the sunset.
Of course.
Love it. I love it.
Look. See, I keep thinking like parts of it, like I remember, but this all the rest of it, I'm like, nah, I don't remember that.
There's some good action too. Like there's an actual hit squad of vampire hunters that come after them and like try to kill him too because he's like with them, those girls, and it's like bloody and brutal, and them girls be fucking people up. They got a lot of famous people in there too, like Bjorn from Vikings. He's one of the vampire leaders. Megan Fox, Sydney Sweeney, Debbie Ryan, the dude that played. You've seen Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? Gray, the kid that got his nuts, his whole thing cut off by Remy.
I know you're talking about.
It's like
I don't know names, bro. You know, I don't remember names.
Like, what is it? Gray.
I know.
It's
I know
like
his face. I know you're talking about
the people of Iron.
Bitch made dude.
Yeah, who's just like after he got his dick cut off and shit, he was just all like, yeah, he was the leader. He was the leader of the vamp. He was the.
I'm not good with names, but I'm good with faces, and I will always remember him from that role because that's how I know him most. So that probably would be hard on me.
Not Grey Worm. Iron Isle or something. I don't know. Something that's where they're from. But that dude, yeah, he was the leader there. There were a couple other faces too, but there's some good action in it. Good fighting, good action stuff like that. And then my love for love.
How was the like choreography? Like
it was good. Yeah, the fighting it was funny too. Like it was pretty
like dumb funny, or it just ended up being funny.
It just was funny. So like there's one point in the movie where when they went to go see Bjorn, like Ironside, the dude that played Bjorn, Alexander Skarsgård, that's his name. They go to see him. He's like some cracked out weird gay vampire. He's just like super like twitchy and shit. And she tries to kill him, like the girlfriend of the leader tries to kill him. He already knows what she's there for. Nigga, you've hit 7 spots on the way here. We know what you're here for. Well, Debbie Ryan and our boy are out by poolside drinking, Debbie Ryan gets on top of him. They start kissing, making out, about to do sex,
About to
and
do the sex.
about to do the intercourse, and all of a sudden, like her girl gets jumped in the bar, like while they're outside, and they're like making out, and he got hands on ass, on cheeks and shit, and like all of a sudden this dude comes flying out of the window, and Debbie Ryan like kind of looks up, and she's like, "I'll be right back." And she goes in there. He's like, do you need do you need help or whatever?" And he just sees her just like suplex a nigga out the window, and he's like, "I'm gonna go get the car."
Okay.
It's like,
Okay.
nigga, there's a bunch of vampires fighting, nigga. You not gonna do shit. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm pretty sure. I just saw the the Netflix overview of the show
Yeah,
because I don't remember any of the rest of that. But no, it definitely sounds lit. See,
it's funny.
Netflix be giving too much information though. Like I felt like I saw the whole movie just from the intro. I'm like, damn, yeah, I've seen this already. I don't need to watch it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a little funny joint, and like again, I like the little vampire stuff as long as it. Of course, I love the rom com section of it because I'm like, I want these niggas right off in the sunset. But it still has its elements of like blood and violence and gore and like fighting, and they got niggas with like weird arrows. Think of it like, what was that movie with Will Smith where they had like the orc cops and like the elves were coming after, like Will Smith was a cop for
Yeah.
Bright, right?
Yeah,
It was
Bright.
Bright. Yeah, think of it. It's like that movie, essentially.
Okay, I like
It
Bright.
has the same feel. It has the same ambiance, the same everything.
Like the
Essentially,
smoothness on the fact of like supernatural things in the real world.
supernatural. Well, they don't show anything else supernatural, but it has the smoothness, the ambiance, like the lighting, the choreography, just the way the movie feels. It feels like it could be in another universe of Bright, essentially.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I'm not big on live action. It lets me down. But the thing is, I think a lot of people are sleep on the current DC animation. Like
really?
Netflix,
I don't
you
think so.
holding it down, but when you need DC animation, you got to
Yeah.
go to Max, formerly known as HBO Max. I've been on a binge of all like the DC
Really?
films. I love the DC films on Max. Like I follow all of like the Justice League, the Young
Yeah, I've watched a lot of
Justice,
them. Yeah.
of course the Injustice movies. I love all of like the Flashpoints. Like I think I told you when it
Yeah.
comes to DC, I'm a big Flash fan.
We
But
watched the what was it? Was it Injustice? We watched that together,
yeah,
right? At my
we
house.
watching Injustice together. That shit was
Yeah,
lit.
yeah.
I actually collect the Injustice comic book. Like I think I got up to like year three, chapter 2, something like that, or volume 2. But
Nice.
recently the Crisis on Infinite Earths finale movie dropped.
Really?
So if you haven't checked out,
I
so
haven't seen that yet.
you definitely heard like the not WB, the CW, how they kind of had like the live action DC shows, The Flash,
Yeah.
Green Arrow, and then they
Yeah.
had the Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover events. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earths, of course, is a canon event that happens in the comics, and they actually animated to reset the DC universe again. So we know with the new Superman movie coming out, that's supposed to be like the first of
Yeah.
the new DC universe, and then this universe, all of the heroes are together. So you go back to like looking at the Flash, the Green Arrow, the
Yeah.
CW shows. It's like they're all in different universes. They're not all together. But if you actually watch the Crisis on Infinite Earths animation, which is a 3-part, and I love how it starts because it starts with the Flash and basically how the Flash saves everyone
Yeah.
to move on to the second part where all the hope is lost, to the final part of we're all brought back together again. So part 1 of the movie is everyone finding out, well, everyone being brought together. By the end of the movie, everyone is brought together, but finding out that, hey, we already know that there are infinite Earths because you got Earth 616, you got Earth
Yeah.
1001, so on and so forth. So many of them are aware that there are other Earths, but they're not all connected. And the fact that there are multiple Earths, which we don't even find out until the third movie, why there are multiple Earths. The reason why there are multiple Earths is actually hurting the overall universe. So
Yeah.
in the first movie, we find out that, hey, the universe is essentially deleting itself. and we have a main character who is basically collecting all the greatest superheroes on the
Yeah.
different Earths. So all multiple different versions of Superman. Like it's not just one
Yeah.
Superman who's up
I
on a
think I've seen
spaceship.
this. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I've
So
seen the
if you
first movie
started
or
the
second
one,
movie. Yeah.
if you started with one, you definitely need to watch two. You definitely need to watch three.
Yeah.
Two was kind of mid, but three definitely
Yeah.
wrapped it up. I think definitely brought it home. So it's like this huge wall, laser wall that's like erasing each Earth as it passes
I
on.
have seen. I have seen this. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is erasing all the Earths as they're passing on, and they don't know how to stop it. By
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
end of the first movie, all the heroes are being collected.
Yeah.
And they start to figure out that they can create like these towers that can protect the Earth
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
when
I've
the
seen
wave
that.
comes by. Well, the towers haven't been created yet. The wave is coming through, and they're all about to be erased from the universe. All the ones who are relevant. Obviously, there are multiple versions of them, but the ones that we're currently looking at, the ones who are relevant, they're all about to die. Well, Flash does Flash type things and literally goes stops time, not stops time. He slows down time like hella slow for just him and his wife. Him and his wife spend decades to the point where she dies in his arms for him to finally be able to create these towers for all the heroes so that they will be saved. So only seconds pass by for him, but for him and Iris West, literal 60, 70 years pass by. They go from young because they get married by this point. So they go from young
Yeah.
all the way to old age, Iris dying in his arms, and then him on the verge of dying. So by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, by the end of the first movie, Flash is able to save everyone. They're
Yeah, I
able
saw
to, he
that.
creates the towers, protects all the different Earths, and then we see he goes back into some weird time, and he's like, it appears like he's telling these like cavemen, like, hey, go back, but they're looking at him like, what are you talking about? It's to come. So second movie comes in. I think the second movie is mid, but it's good because we start to see like the interactions with all the different versions of the
Yeah.
characters. So just to kind of highlight one of them, the Bat family. We know Batman got some issues. He got some internal issues. He don't have mental issues. He gives people mental issues, but him personally, he has like some personal familial issues with justice.
Yeah.
So we see Batman Beyond. I actually went on a quick binge of Batman Beyond. Like, every time I see him, I'm like, let me go watch the Batman Beyond TV show again.
Great show. That's a show.
I love Batman Beyond. Bro, I have ADHD. I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. There is a YouTube video of a live action of Batman Beyond. And it is a live action. It is a fan made live action. So you literally type it in Batman Beyond live action fan made, and it's like a 20-minute thing, and it's pretty good. Like the guy who did it, God, what did he play in? Have you ever seen the Teen Titans TV show, that live action Teen Titans?
Nah, I peeped it a little bit.
If you
I'm
peep,
like, this
so
shit is ass.
the Asian guy with the green hair who played Beast Boy. Yeah, so the Asian guy with the green hair who plays Beast Boy, he's actually what's his name? Dennis Tenney?
Yeah,
Tenney? Something like that. Dennis, whatever his name is. He's Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
He's the Batman Beyond
Yeah.
character, and he actually fits the role really well. So check it out.
Well,
if
sucked in the live
you've
action
been
too,
wondering
man.
where the hell is the live action, they probably canceled that shit. It's probably never going to come. They hate Batman Beyond, but there is a fan made live action. It's pretty good. They adapt the episode with when he meets the girl who has like the card game, the card gang, and they have like the King of Spades, the Queen of Spades, shit like that. I think they're like the Spades gang, but they adapt
Spades
that
gang.
episode, so it's pretty cool. But going back to the Crisis on Infinite Earth, the second movie, the Bat family, we get to see the Batman Beyond again. So he's on a different Earth, and on this Earth, their Batman died.
Yeah.
But they end up getting teamed with a Batman on the Earth where he didn't take any children to be his little
We didn't
slave
kidnap
soldiers.
any brats.
He
Yeah.
didn't do that. So they have this funny ass interaction where they're like, "Oh, on our he's like, who are you?" Because they're like, on one girl, I forgot her name. This one of them like asks his daughter. She has like the purple costume, and she's like, "Dad." He's like, "Who are you?" And they're like, "You're our father." And he's like, and what's his name? Robin comes up to him, or
Yeah.
Darkwing, and he's like, "Who are you supposed to be?" He was like, "You don't remember me? I'm the kid that you brought in after his parents died." He's like, "That's irresponsible."
I was about to say, I think I've seen the second movie because I'm like, doesn't he say that seems very
Yeah,
irresponsible?
that's like that. That's irresponsible. Like, so he's like
Yeah.
bagging on their Batman like most of the movie, and they end up fighting towards the end of the movie. Like how that movie kind of starts to
Yeah.
clear out. They end up getting into a huge fight because there's a overall good guy who's using controlling the emotions of everybody to be angry at each other just to
Yeah.
fuck up the whole plan of the anti-life equation or whatever
Yeah.
he calls himself. So they end up getting into a fight over that whole familiar relationship, all because Batman has issues and can't get with the fact that yes, these kids are from a different Earth, but they are kids, and on their Earth, you were their
Father.
beacon. You were their
Yeah.
father. You were their leader. You were their advisor.
Yeah.
So you gotta just be nice, because again, this is the Batman who said, "Hey, I'm not about to take this kid to be Robin. Hey, I'm not going to sleep
Yeah.
with Selena Kyle in order to
Yeah.
have this daughter." So I thought Crisis on Infinite Earth was pretty good, and towards the end of that one, again, spoiler alert, Supergirl ends up killing the main good guy who got the whole team
Yeah.
together, and that sparks the third movie because it sends them all into an alternate reality. I am not going to ruin the third movie, but that is the movie of how they kind of bring everything back and
Yeah.
then compress everybody from, yes, we at one point we had infinite Earths, but now from this point on we're going to have one Earth, and all these heroes are all going to exist on this one Earth. So if they continue on with that idea with the live action movies, I think that'll be pretty cool
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. That'd be
But
pretty dope.
again, we got to highlight Flash because again, he comes third movie. He's the one who tells Batman like, "Hey, this is what's going to happen." And Batman is
Yeah.
the investigator. He figures
Yeah.
things out, and he's like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
what he was trying to tell me." So
Because this is the same.
Flash is the
This
one who
is the
saves
same.
everyone.
This is the same series, if I remember, where they were trapped in not the Brainiac, but they were trapped in that giant spaceship that was collecting all those heroes,
I mean,
and
they
it was
weren't
like a bad
trapped, but
guy.
yeah, they were. That's the movie I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I've seen the first and second one because I remember the whole Batman sequence. Like I was like,
Yeah,
there's
I
like
thought that was actually I
you're
saw that
like
sequence on
you
like
you
TikTok
took
that got
me,
me.
you took me too. Oh, you also adopted me. He's like that. No, that's irresponsible. I would never do that. I would never. Nope,
But
not
no,
me.
if you're not currently watching
I don't
those
think I've
DC
seen the
shows, because you're
third
a
one
DC
though.
fan, aren't you?
I've seen every except for the third one because I didn't know a third one came out. I've seen almost every single DC animated thing that they've ever made. Yeah, like everything. I
You know
love.
me. Every time like I find out about something, I gotta go into this
Hmm.
little rabbit hole and find out every little piece
Oh
of
yeah,
information. I even went back to the DC Universe app. So you remember back when they had this DC
yeah,
Universe app, and that's when they
yeah, yeah,
had
yeah.
all the DC stuff on it.
You can make your
Well,
own character on there, couldn't you?
yeah, I
There's
believe you could
some.
do so. It was a lot of stuff you could like.
Yeah,
They had a
there's
whole bunch
yeah,
of ideas that literally just fell flat, and I think
yeah,
that idea literally ran for maybe 2-3 years, and then
yeah.
they ended
This
up
was a
turning
while
the
ago.
app into DC Comics, where you could just
Yeah,
use the app to read DC Comics. So that
yeah,
was cool
yeah, yeah.
too. But now, of course, with HBO Max becoming now Max and having their DC contracts,
Everything. Yeah,
all the things on there, even the
yeah.
Teen Titans live action is on there
Hmm.
because it sucks. FYI, guys, don't
Yeah,
don't
it's
watch the Teen Titans shit. That shit
absolutely
sucks.
terrible.
And I think they said they're gonna
Casting
make a
was
movie of that
horrible.
for that too. Oh
I
god,
hope not.
casting was terrible.
Ca- Casting was terrible. Action was terrible. The dynamic wasn't even there between the actual Teen Titans we know and love, and to into that. Like there was no. Raven was. I'm not even going to get started.
Raven,
Anyways,
Raven was cool.
no. Starfire, trash. Raven,
Yeah,
trash.
the whole they fucked up the whole like idea
Yeah.
of
I
each
would
of the
say.
characters.
I mean, it wasn't a travesty as much as Teen Titans Go was, but
I never watched it, and I never
that
will.
that was that was made for. Is because a while ago. So we wrap this up real in a nice fancy bow. So when our OG Teen Titans was out, right, and that was something running for us for a long time as teenagers and as young adults, things like that.
Only
There
Teen
was a
Titans.
lot of complaint that with the Slade arc and with all the shit that was going on when Slade started becoming a main bad guy, it got too dark for children. Like it got way too
That was the
dark
best
for
part.
kids. Yeah, niggas was dying. Like
Robin
this
was
was like
literally going psycho. He was losing
this
his
was
fucking
on
mind.
this was on Zombie 100 type shit where blood would be different colors and shit, but because there was too much blood, they had to make it different colors.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said it was too violent for children. So when they had a contract renewal, something I read a long time ago, when they had a contract renewal, when Cartoon Network had a contract renewal for Teen Titans,
Mm-hmm.
they told them that we will run a Teen Titans show, but it cannot be this show again because this show is too dark for children. It needs to be something stupid and funny, essentially. And so they made Teen Titans Go,
Yeah.
and that's because it's for kids. And
They
then
could have
Robin
just
gets
put
shit
it on
on.
Adult Swim. Like, why do they even?
They did. I mean, they did. They moved Teen Titans itself to not Adult
Where's
Swim,
our
but
another
Toonami.
season? What did they had? Like 3 seasons? Where's our 4th season? Where's our
Yeah,
fifth
they had
season?
3 seasons and a movie.
Yeah, they needed to keep
So,
on going. I think that
what they
was.
needed to
I
keep
think
on
it
going
was
is Young
really
Justice.
good. Young Justice. I mean, they kind of finished it up.
They stopped for a long ass time,
Mm-hmm.
dropped one more season, and then stopped, and then now they're done.
What is the last season they dropped was their
Was
final
with
season.
Manta, with Black Manta and Aquaboy.
Mm-hmm.
That was their fight, but that didn't really wrap
That
up
wasn't.
shit.
I mean,
Black Manta didn't die. He's still out there, trying
I
trying
mean
to get nukes.
that's
nigga.
how the comics is. That's how they wrapped it up. They're done.
Yeah.
Because like their whole concept was, oh, you're not ready for the Justice League. Well, by the
Yeah.
end of that season, it wasn't Phantom. I think it was something else. But by the end of the season, they were ready. I think that was them ending it. Them saying, all right,
Well,
you can
They said a few of them were ready because they
Yeah.
gave them
Who was it?
preliminary Justice League
Superboy,
access.
Nightwing, of course,
Aquaboy, or
Aquaboy, or Aqualad. Yeah.
Aqualad.
Yeah, all of them, like the main characters. That's all we really care about. Like the other kids, those are new kids. They got to put their time in. But the main characters who were originally told, like Starfire and them,
Damien.
who were originally told that you can't be, now they are in. Actually, which that was really weird. Starfire was a lot
Starfire-
older.
Starfire was in the show so Starfire was in charge of the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
So, because the Teen Titans were a concept in that show, because when they brought Damian in, or Nightwing was Robin on the Teen Titans, Cyborg was already on the Justice League, and so they all kind of grew up. Cyborg joined the Justice League. Starfire ran the Teen Titans, but then they started making her run the Young Justice, like the Young Justice League, and so she was kind of already in the Justice League, but really just the leader of or the adult supervision of the Young Justice. So like she kind of was but kind of wasn't. But then Nightwing, which I have to separate Young Justice from the other universes and comics that I know from DC, because something like Cyborg, for example, he was a founding member of the Justice League. Like in most cases, most comics and it was Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Cyborg. Those were like the main people that founded the Justice. Well, Green Lantern, kind of.
And
So,
Martian.
Yeah, but those two, them two, and like Hawk
Hawk
Girl,
Girl?
Hawk
Yeah.
Girl, and Hawkman, whatever. Those three were kind of like sparse and different foundings. Mainly in most places you'll find it was usually them five. And so when they talked about Cyborg finally joining and this and that, I was like, Cyborg's always been there. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. He was, because they're bringing in the Justice League concept. Or not Justice League, the Teen Titans concept.
Yeah.
So I understood. I get it. I understand at that point. But I was like, but
But it was good though. It was really good. I think Young Justice was really good, and for
that was one of my favorites.
our boys to finally get their flowers, I think that was a good ending for them. Could they continue on? I think they could, and they should have, because there were other characters who were picked up towards the later seasons that I definitely wanted to see. And I was waiting for Static Shock. What the fuck? I thought he was about to get his debut.
There was a thing a while ago about a Static Shock revamp, or like a
That's never gonna happen.
older show or something like. Yeah, they don't like nigga superheroes.
I understand. That's not gonna happen.
Anyways, I digress. Well, I appreciate it, y'all. Did a little recommendations day, a little bit of news. We are currently in the new season of anime, so go ahead and check that out. Sakamoto Days is on Netflix, by the way. Netflix on to come up. On Crunchyroll, watch it back. I don't know what to tell you. but I'm about to check out once it. I'm doing like you do, right? So I'm gonna wait to like week 4, maybe week 5, just so I can do 5 in a row. Just kind of call it a day because I'm tired of watching now. Solo 11, I'm watching that every single episode come out when it comes out. But I'm kind of doing that right now. So be sure y'all checking out the new season of anime. Go back. So we did a what we're looking forward to the most season in anime. On our YouTube channel, so go ahead and check that one out, so you just know what's coming out and what's out right now. But we appreciate you guys. We love you. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.